Hey boys and girls, this week we're going to be talking about information that authors give us about their books right on our book, and some different parts of the book that authors write on to help us to understand what's going on in the book or just to give us information. So today's book is A Bus Called Heaven. It's by Bob Graham, and I want to talk to you about the dedication. So not all books, but most books are dedicated. That means they are honoring somebody by dedicating the book to someone. So this book has a dedication. It's here at the top, and it says, "For Josephine and Alexander." So sometimes it's a long message, or sometimes it's just some names. So this may be Bob's children, it may be friends, it may be wife, could be mom or sister. We don't really know. They don't tell us. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But this book was dedicated to Josephine and Alexander. So this author's like, hey, this is my book, but they want to honor somebody they care about by dedicating it to someone. Let's check out our book, A Bus Called Heaven by Bob Graham. Abandoned. The bus appeared one morning from a sea of traffic right outside of Stella's house, where no bus should be. Tired, old, and sick, it had a hand-painted sign on it, held down with packing tape. The sign said, "Heaven." The bus brought change to Stella Street. Traffic slowed where no traffic had slowed before. People stopped and talked together. Just a little, but they talked. Stella changed too. She took her thumb from her mouth, where it usually lived, and said, "Mommy, that old bus is sad as a whale on a beach," when she pushed open the door and climbed aboard. Stella, the color of moonlight, stood among the bottles, cans, and trash. She was so pale and could almost see through her. It could be ours, she whispered. Whose? Asked Nikki, Vicky, Alex, Yasmin, and Poe. What did she say? Asked Miss Demetrius. Ours, she said louder. Well, whoever's it is, it needs to come off the road, said Stella's mom. And when Dad came home that afternoon, he found an old bus where the front yard used to be. The old wheels stick out into the sidewalk, he said. There are sure to be regulations. Well, it's staying here, said Stella. That's my regulation. Next morning, Stella looked out her front window. People were sitting on the wall where no one had sat before. Under the bus were Esther, Rajat, Chelsea, and Charles. Mommy, said Stella, I'm going out, and she joined them. That day the bus settled in, weeds nudged up around the tires, nails made silver trails, and a pair of sparrows nested in the old engine. While the children played, the grown-ups mopped and scrubbed and polished. That night the bus got a bit of a new paint. Hello, boys, said Mom. I've got an idea. Come back tomorrow, and you can paint the whole bus. Make it sparkle. Next morning, Stella drew a picture of the rats to copy. Oh, it's for the rats to copy. So the rats, I think, are a family, not actual rats. Oh, I see. So this group called the Street Rats had put graffiti on the bus. So she did a drawing for the group called the Street Rats to come back and do the graffiti. People came with donations. Poppy brought her goldfish Eric. Luke gave a set of super comics. Stella carried in her table soccer with the missing goalie. Mr. Stavros brought a bus cake. Oh my goodness, look. She brought a bus cake. And Lucy lent her dog, Bear, for anyone who needed to just sit and pat something. It's like a community center. Look, they're all in the bus. Life returned to the old bus. Stella's fingers fluttered and her soccer players spun. Babies crawled. People laughed. Kids fought. Granddads scratched dogs. Meetings were planned. Couples met. And the Fingles showed their vacation pictures. On Saturday morning, just outside Stella's house, there was music and dancing, and there were picnics and laughter when a tow truck arrived. Oh no. What do you think's about to happen? What do tow trucks do? They haul things off. It's against regulation, said the driver. This bus is causing an obstruction. He means it sticks out, Stella's dad whispers. The bus has to go, said the driver. As the front wheels left the ground, snails dropped from under the bus, and twittering came from the old engine. Oh no, they're taking the bus. Go where? Gasped the crowd. Look, everyone's following the bus. Are they happy about this? To the junkyard, came the reply. Oh no. The crowd pleaded for their bus, but the junkyard boss came out to join the driver and shook his head. This one's for the crusher. A little pink glow crept across Stella's cheek. 3 rescued snails were deep in her pocket. Rescue me, she said. Shall we play table soccer? You can have the only goalie, but if I win, we'll keep the bus. Oh, so Stella wants to play the tow truck guy for the bus. And why? Asked the junkyard bus. Tell me why should I play you for the bus? Because, replied Stella, there are sparrows nesting in the engine. The game began. Handles spun, the ball smacked end to end, then goal! Stella scored. She followed that with 9 more and won. The boss put out his hand. Joe, he said. Stella, said Stella. They shook hands. Then Stella ran to the front of the bus. Come and see, she said. Chicks. Amid the frantic flapping of the parent sparrow's wings, Joe, the junkyard boss, spoke quietly. Better get your bus to somewhere safe, kid. Somewhere out of the way. Thank you, said Stella, and the crowd cheered. I know where we can take it, said Stella. While the others pushed, me and Mom sat up front to steer, almost back to where they'd started from. And when the old bus came to rest, at last, everyone else needed a rest too. Well, almost everyone. That evening, in the vacant lot behind Stella's house, music drifted high over the city, and the grass danced flat around a bus called heaven. As a full moon rose, 3 snails slid safely back under the tires, and tomorrow Stella will see the sparrow chicks fly for the first time. I hope you enjoyed my book. And I hope that Josephine and Alexander enjoyed the book too, since it was dedicated to them.